Welcome back. We have Jeff Parker here. Welcome back. It's
Good
been
morning.
a little while. Nice to see you again.
It has been a couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah, and so we've got, some interesting information to discuss. Of course, the Delta variant, as I mentioned earlier, is on the rise and causing a bit of concern. So why don't we talk about that first?
Well, I think the one thing I wanted to make sure is people were hearing rumors out there with regards to what's the impact on the village. So right now, we're following, as we always have, the Orange County Health Agency's directives. If they have a mandate or if they have a recommendation, whatever those are, we're following those. Right now, with regards to indoor facilities, people who are vaccinated don't have to wear a mask. People that are not vaccinated should be wearing a mask. That's the standard operating for all businesses and all indoor activities within Orange County. Right. But I think a lot of rumors came out because the variant's showing, and we'll talk about numbers in a minute, is growing, that there is talk out there that we were going to close facilities again. We have no intention of closing any of our facilities. We want to keep them open. The only thing that would cause that would be if the emergency decree came out of the governor's office. Don't think that's going to happen. I think more and more people are getting vaccinated, which is the best way to address this Delta variant.
Right.
So I think we're moving and getting more and more people vaccinated is the right move that we can do. But for to be cautious, to be safe, wear a mask when you're indoors. That's the idea. With regards to our employees, again, we're following those rules. If you're vaccinated, you don't have to, but we still indicate that it's fine. If you feel more comfortable wearing that mask, wear that mask. And if you're not vaccinated, please be cognizant of that. And when you come into a building, any building, so whether you're in a restaurant or any office building, wearing that mask. So we just ask that people pay attention to their environment and who they're dealing with.
Right. And one thing I think is interesting to keep in mind is that it's a generality, but when we have looked at numbers in the past for California as well, right here in Orange County, we have a very high vaccination rate.
We do.
So it's really just a kind of, like you said, a sort of a recommendation. However, try to follow it as best as you can, primarily because those people who might be a little concerned can certainly wear their mask if they want to.
And I think they've shown that the non-vaccinated is the most at risk with regards to this variant, but it is impacting people that have gotten the vaccination.
Right.
So there are those breakthrough cases. And in those breakthrough cases, it doesn't mean you can't then transmit the disease in the sense of the virus. So again, the importance of wearing a mask when you're indoors and making sure you've been vaccinated.
Right.
Those are the choices really, I think, out there that we want to see people follow those rules.
Yes.
And then as we move forward and we talk about the numbers, we'll keep in touch with Orange County Health and see if they're going to change any rules or regulations. At this point in time, they haven't done that.
Right. Well, my goal is to actually talk to them directly at some point, so that will be wonderful to have them on just to kind of get a good feel of where we're at and where we're going.
Yep. So real quickly on the numbers, as you can see, 1,996 positive cases. That's a lot compared to what we've seen in the past when we were down well below 1,000 numbers and down in the low 100 numbers. Unfortunately, 2 reported deaths yesterday. The testing is still way up, so that's good, and that's being pushed by people wanting to get testing or needing to get testing if they don't have vaccinations for certain activities out there that are requiring that. Obviously, the one that we watch a lot, Lisa, is the 322 and the 68 for the ICUs and the hospitalization. Those are both up from last time that we talked. So we're obviously concerned about that. With regards to Laguna Woods, which is the city again, but the village is part of it, we're now at 445 cases. That last time I spoke to you, which was about 3 weeks ago, we were at 435, so we're up 10. But luckily, thank goodness, our deaths haven't changed. That's still at 53. And like you said before, one of the good things for the village and for Laguna Woods, if you look at our zip code, over 85% vaccination rate. And over 87%, I believe it is, for those over 65. So very, very high vaccination rates. We just want to continue to do that because that is such a big, important part of trying to keep this Delta variant away.
Well, exactly. And one thing that people can remember, that if they wanted to get information just like this, and let's say you were traveling to Anaheim and you wanted to know what their vaccination rate is, you can certainly go on this website and see that exact information and be able to look it up yourself. So then you can go, well, you know, things aren't going so good over there. Maybe I should wear a mask.
Exactly. Exactly. Stay in the areas
that have the high vaccinations.
Yeah. It's always a good recommendation. And just be careful when you're out there. With the variant, it's a very, as we've talked about and you've mentioned, this variant is a very aggressive one, and it spreads rather easily. And so having that mask is important from that perspective. But really understanding how the vaccine works too is an important element, and making a decision that you want to or don't want to. But do your research, get your information, and then make a logical and decision on your part. Will help everybody out.
I think that's great advice for sure. And there's lots of resources out there, and you have to just make up your own mind. So
exactly.
So definitely a good idea. All right, now in regards to the village itself, there are numerous meetings that are coming up that are all budget related.
Yeah, so we are in our final phases of the budget. And come August, we do what we call our business plan review with regards to TV on television. And so we start next week with Monday, August the 9th for GRF, then Thursday, August the 12th for United, and then third falls up on Friday, August 13th. So we have it up there.
So if we go to the first slide where it says GRF business plan meeting, so it's going to air live here on Village Television at 1:30, as well as you can participate virtually.
Right.
Okay, but you cannot be in the boardroom this time, right?
It will not be in the boardroom.
All right, and virtually, of course, is lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings, and then we will replay that on Tuesday, August 17th at 1 o'clock. Okay, and then United is also going to be airing live on Village Television, and then how is that one going to work?
Now, they're still planning at this point in time to have theirs in the boardroom, although I think they're kind of watching everything with regards to how this variant issue is and how we're addressing that. So we certainly have the ability to do virtual as well as live in the board meeting. So they'll probably make a decision, I would say, this week early, so that if we're going all virtual, we get the notice out. But right now, they plan to be in the boardroom. Okay, and I think third is as well on.
Right. Okay, so we'll go to the third one, and that is also going to air here on August 13th live, and of course we'll replay that as well. And as we get more information, we will definitely tell you whether or not it will be available virtually as well, and we'll have that information for you prior.
Great. Okay. The one thing that I want to mention about this is that this is kind of the culmination of months and months of budget preparation and budget practice. So it is the preliminary stuff happens starting in March, April by the staff, and then we work towards our first meetings that we have in June with the boards about M&C and landscaping. And then we go into our first meetings in July where we present the overall budgets to the GRF has so many different departments that they're under, and then specifically for United and Third, their activities. And then from those first meetings where we have our first overall views, if there's any changes or modifications to the budget that the boards want, then we incorporate that and then bring it back for this presentation.
Right.
And then we'll finalize everything in September.
Okay, excellent. And then one last thing I wanted to touch on is, I believe for all of those who wanted to apply to be on the board, that closed the 30th of July. Is that correct?
It has closed.
Okay, so that's all closed. So now it's really just getting to know the candidates and voting.
Right.
Okay, and we'll have more information on the voting coming forward.
I can bring that up next week if you want.
Absolutely, I will. Okay, thanks again.
It's a pleasure.
All right, we'll see you next time. All right, stick around, and we have the Equestrian Center Volunteer Celebration. Stay tuned.